being. It is lovely to see you. Inside because it's just way too windy to be out today. Pretty flat, pretty flower. Pretty picture from the top of the hill. There's all these clouds and the sun's coming through them and there's all this beautiful contrast. And I managed to hold the camera almost level. It's really hard to see with the sun in your eye. Here we are. And we're inside because it's windy, and you know that means we're going to play with rocks. So here it is. This is a good friend. Hi, Alicia. You, of course, will know this immediately. It's really quite beautiful. It is smoky quartz, alluvial, because it's all these bitsy crystals that have grown into each other. But it's also a little bit tabular, you know. It's really flat. And it's got this wonderful, you know, edge on it. It's not smoky all the way through. And it goes dark because the crystal gets exposed to radiation. That's what makes it go dark. So it's beautiful, and it's, you know, kind of shiny and transparent at the same time as being all interesting. Morning, Ruth. Lovely to see you. And you can see it really is very shiny and reflective. And then there's, you know, this is like a cityscape or some kind of landscape. It's beautiful. I'm really fond of this rock. Yeah, look at all those facets. Very shiny. Shiny things. Very pretty. Good morning. It is lovely to be with you. So, and we have a little rose quartz egg. You can just see that it's kind of got some lines going through it, because rose quartz does grow. How do I explain this? It's got a kind of, it's got a structure that's got like squares and rhomboids and things through it. And so no matter what shape it's carved into, you see those lines. And this is just a sweet little rose quartz egg that said, I'm coming on today. So there it is. Last but not least, carnelian. It's a lovely piece of tumbled carnelian, which is, she says, just a kind of quartz, right? Beautiful, just rich orange. Catch the sunlight through. There you go. You can see it's translucent. See, I've got the light through it now. And you know, it's just quartz. I don't even know what the extra bits that make it go orange are, but it's beautiful. Morning, Kristen. It is lovely to see you. Just doing the rocks inside because it's way too windy to be out. And you know, carnelians are kind of agate, so it's always got interesting bits swirling through it. Love that. So those are our rocks today. Simple little rocks and nothing pretentious, nothing big, but they're beautiful. And it feels like ages since I did rocks with rocks with everybody, and it's probably because it was sometime last year. And last year I was a different person. It was a lifetime ago. So today, picking up from a wonderful comment that Charlotte made yesterday, in the writing afterwards. Morning, Heather. G'day. I want to talk about self-worth, self-love, and feeling worthy. And if these are the same thing or if they're completely different, what are those things? There's a lot of stuff around. I've got a problem with my self-worth. Hi, Jocelyn. Morning, beautiful. What is the deal with self-worth, self-love, and worthiness? Morning, Saint Marie. I can see your little face has popped up. There you are. Now Facebook's told me you're here. G'day, it's lovely to see you. So, and I know I've talked about this, feels like lifetimes ago, last year. Self-worth, to me, is an oxymoron. It is not a thing. It's like, an oxymoron, by the way, is two words that you put together that contradict each other. So like being, I don't know, dead alive. I can't think of a good oxymoron. There are lots and lots of really good oxymorons, and right now I can't think of one. But self-worth, or needing to build it, or needing to have it, or wanting it, or needing to create it, it's just a silly thing. By our very nature, we are born utterly worthy, right? Totally worthy. You're worthy because you're breathing in and out. Being here as a human on this planet of choice, in this degree of polarity, with this level of illusion that we have to work through to remember who we are and, do what we come here to do and be. The whole universe kind of is like, wow, we're cheering you on, keep going, you can do this, you can remember that you're this limitless, infinite being that's having this, three-dimensional experience and forgotten who you are, and you're doing your best to remember. That's what the rest of the universe thinks about us. Thinks, feels, hearts, loves, holds, is about us. The whole universe is watching every single one of us on planet Earth with that degree of love and support, like fans in a sports stadium, except that there isn't that whole competition, somebody has to win and somebody has to lose thing that goes on a playing field. But it's like the whole universe is this great cheering stadium of, hey, you can do it, we love you, we think you're amazing, you are so awesome, and, that's what the universe thinks of us. And that's what we think of ourselves, it's what we know of ourselves before we come in, get born, put all that knowing away, and have the experience that we're having, whatever that is. And we get conditioned. And that's what we choose. We create all of it. Oh my God, that's a big thing to swallow if what you created and chose and all of that has been really rugged. But we do. This is really what I hold to be true, so I'm not going to soft pedal it. Morning, Andrew. Lovely to see you. Linda, morning. I'm not going to pretend not to hold this as a truth. But I do understand that it can be very challenging to look that in the eye and say, really? Because most of us, me included to start with, I'm used to it now, will look at that and go, oh, don't you tell me I chose this. How dare you tell me I chose this? We can have this. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Point being that everything that's happened to us and everything we believe about ourselves, even in our most expanded and elevated moment, is a tiny fraction of what we really are. And we know what we really are before we come in, but we forget. And we spend our lives, amongst other things, doing what we can to remember. So, for me, the whole idea of needing to chase or build or create self-worth is an oxymoron, because it's fundamentally who I am to be worthy. To feel worthy, that's a journey. Because to feel worthy, I've got to let go of everything that I have taken on about myself and believed is true that says I'm not. Right? Maybe we'll get to talking about that in a minute. But for me, self-worth is an oxymoron. I am, therefore I am utterly, infinitely worthy. Period. To step into that, to become that, to know that, to feel that, to live that, that's my journey. That's what I'm doing. But there is absolutely no question about it. Now, I can argue with it, I can deny it, I can, oh no, look at all the things that happened to me, and I can spend, and I see people do this, and you can spend a lifetime looking at all the evidence and your experience and saying, well, that's not true, I'm different, I wasn't born worthy, I'm not an infinite, limitless being, and that's okay. But for me, it doesn't change the fact that that's just not a fact. It's not true. We are fundamentally, limitlessly, infinitely worthy because we are an expression of divinity. We are the divine observer, observing itself into an experience. Fundamentally worthy, period. Okay, so that's what I think about that whole worthy word. And I am constantly, one way and another, coming more into connection with my own worthiness. Yeah, we let go of the illusion and we come closer to who we really are. That's totally what living is about. And we don't just do it for ourselves, and we don't just do it for our communities or for planet Earth. What we do here, affects every atom in the whole universe. It affects all consciousness in the whole universe. We are all quantumly entangled. You do not do anything on your own. And more than that, we think what we're doing here is about planet Earth. Now, I read this in a Cryon quote. I get the Cryon marshmallow messages, and I didn't know this. But I have found Cryon is the one voice that I have listened to for, I don't know how many decades now. 2, 3, whatever, many years. And the only voice that I find continues to be really true for me. I just don't listen to any other channeled voice, period. And I only listen to the Cryon that comes through Lee Carroll. That's it. And something that came through Cryon, which I read recently in my marshmallow message, is that what we're doing here is mostly, it's not about planet Earth. It actually isn't. It's not about humanity and planet Earth at all. It's about the whole freaking universe. So we think it's all happening here and in ourselves and in our environment and the crisis and everything that's going on. No, it's not. We are shifting a linchpin, if you like, for the whole universe here. That's what we are doing. This is like the grand party of shift and change right now. That's why we're worthy. We're doing it. We are creating change in the entire universe. Probably the multiverses, get all quantum about it. That's why you're worthy. No other reason required. That's why the whole universe looks at you and says, oh, beloved human, you've forgotten who you are, but we see you. That's my truth. Now, self-love, right? Oh, I've got to love myself. I've got to give myself a spa treatment. I've got to be nice to me. And all that's valuable and good. No problem with that. This is what I have recently come to understand about self-love. Colette, good morning, gorgeous. Lovely to see you. And it's something I've learned from Joe Dispenza. I make no apology. The only man I've ever met, not in person, on the internet, that I actually want to have as a role model. Amazing to me to have a role model. And this is what he says about self-love. Self-love is what you find, what happens inside you when you overcome yourself. When you face your fear or your resentment or your sorrow or your pain or whatever it is, and you change it, you transform it, and you become more of who you really desire to be. Kimberly, morning gorgeous. That is self-love. That is true self-love. And all I can say is, from my own experience, I totally agree with him. Because the amount of respect that I have for myself, every time I overcome my fear or my anger or my sickness or my whatever it is, I can't lose that. It doesn't go away. I don't get that from having somebody pamper me. I don't get that from eating my favourite food. And really enjoying it, saving it, not for a bad reason, not because I'm addicted to anything, or but I don't get that. I enjoy being out in my garden. It's therapy. It's wonderful. I love it. It's my space. I enjoy it. But I don't get a lasting sense of loving me and my own worthiness from that. I've been doing it for decades. Becoming who I really desire to be. Every time I do that a little bit more, every time I connect a little bit more with who I really want to be in this life, oh man, I love that. I love that so much. And I can't lose that because I've become it. It's me. And I'm so proud of me. I'm so proud of what I've become because I know who I used to be. I can't lose that. I can't forget that in my darkest, most angry, most afraid, most incoherent moments. I still know who I am. I still know who I am. I know who I'm choosing to be. I know that I can self-regulate and come back to that state of being. And I'm proud of the fact that I know how to do that. Had some really powerful stuff come up for me yesterday. Nobody's fault. It was co-created. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 number of things just all coalesced together. And none of them were dramatic, and none of them were delivered without love or with it was just circumstances. And I knew I could feel all this energy in my body. And I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was about. I still don't really. I have some clues. I meditated on it this morning and, I had a bunch of stuff released. That's the most interesting and useful part. I don't really care as long as I get to be free of it. The insight comes as things clear. But to know that I navigated that and I managed myself and I can do that and I don't have to lose the plot while something's coming up. I don't have to fall into a sort of, paralyzed mess I once did. There's so much respect for me, Even while I'm still figuring out it, even while I still don't know, I don't really know what my responses are about. I have a few more ideas. It'll come. I trust that too. And, looking back even a month, and I keep talking about this because it's such a point of growth for me, at how I deal with resources. Having to manage what for me is a significant amount of money and get it to my friend Sang-Marie, who's with us today, and, researching somebody who can do that reliably, who's got good service, putting it through. Oh, it's taking longer than it should. They put a trace on and then it turns up the next day. But in that time, where even 2 months ago I would have been in fear. Oh, where is it? Has anything gone wrong? I had this immensely deep knowing that everything was complete. Absolutely complete, and that it was all perfect, and it wasn't even, I knew the company was reputable and they were looking after me. They gave me no cause for fear. But 2 months ago they would have done the same thing and I would have felt fear. I felt no fear. It was just complete, it's fine. It's all happening perfectly. No problem. None at all. I can't tell you how good I feel about that. And I don't mean, I'm so excited. I mean good, solid, strong. Me. How I want to be about these things. Because it used to be so hard. Laura, good morning. Good morning. It's been such a journey. So, to value myself really comes from overcoming myself. And that isn't saying, oh, Maddie, shut up, I hate you, squash down, don't have those feelings, don't have that response, don't be who you are, put yourself into the shape that I think you should be so that everybody will like you. It's not that. Overcoming myself is not about suppressing myself or squashing things down or ignoring what's going on. It's kind of the reverse. It's being able to be the best expression of myself no matter what the hell is going on. Confidence to possibility, actually, right there, Laura. It is having confidence in my ability to remain myself in the face of all the unknowns. There's a lot more unknowns in my life now than there used to be, and that is good. I can no longer take last week and put it on this week and say it's going to be like that. There's too much that's changing. I certainly can't take last year and put it on this year. I have no idea where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing, what my life is going to look like in a year's time. I do have some visions that have come to me. I do have a sense of the path I'm going to walk, but what my life will look like, I don't know. Arlan, morning! Oh, yay! I'm so grateful. These are just the right words. So, in all of that, though, the fact that my life is going to look utterly different in a year, I know that. I'm still going to have me. I'm still going to know who I am. I am absolutely going to know what I've overcome and who I've become and who I am no longer. And that to me is all the worthiness I can imagine. It's all I need. Because when I'm really connected to that, and when I feel, when I'm in the field, we talked about that, when I'm connected to all that is, and I don't even exist, there is no Maddie, there is no personality of me, I'm simply connected to the unified field, the divine observer that's observing everything into being. I don't need anything else. Tanuya, good morning, beautiful. Kelly, morning, morning. We just become so present to ourselves, to our truth. There's just nothing else you need when you have that connection. In those moments, I need nothing else. Andrea, good morning, gorgeous. And in the in-between moments, because I still have to walk through 3 dimensions and live my life and face me and my responses and the things that come up and everything else, the solidity of knowing that about myself and who I am. I can't describe it. It just, I've been talking about it for the last little while. It doesn't translate well into words, but it's so solid and so, I don't know, like a mountain inside. You just can't argue with it. Even when the shit's coming down and your body's kind of tingling with some trauma that's been woken up and you can't think and, nothing makes sense, I still know this about me. And that, well, you can't buy that. You can only become that. And to become that, overcoming myself to become more of that, that's self-love. That is loving me. And when I've done it, I love me more. So there you go. That's my rave about self-worth and worthiness and love and all those things. Oh, yeah, powerful, powerful. I wouldn't even call them lessons, Linda. I'd just say that you are realizing how powerfully your thoughts and intentions and feelings, and immediately they affect your environment, your world, your universe. You're getting feedback. Call it feedback, honey. It's not a lesson because you already know. And so you're getting feedback, which means great. You're having a direct effect. You're creating. We're all doing it, by the way. So some of us are more aware of the connection between our thoughts and our feelings and what happens than others. It really is pretty instant. But what we're not aware of is what we're really thinking and what we're really feeling a lot of the time. And when you start to really understand that, as you said last year, I think it was, Linda, or earlier this year, it's liberating when you realize that you are entirely responsible for your reactions and feelings and thoughts and everything. Scary as hell, a bit overwhelming, but when you finally wrap your head and heart around that, you realize you're a creator. And there's another reason to feel really worthy. All right, I'm done. I'm going to be back flying by the seat of my pants with no flames at 12:30 more or less today with another, I don't know what to call it, Thursday. Because I don't know what to call it Thursday, but this is me talking about my stuff and what we're doing and what's creating. And I'll look forward to joining you there if you wish. Be great to catch up with you then. Vicky, good morning. I've just got time to say hi and bye. Big love. Thanks for joining and enjoy the replay. I'll see you in 3.5 hours. Until then, bye-bye.